Yeah, and make jokes and just relax. It's going to be fine. Right. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, everyone. As you can hear, we are recording in English and we have our distinguished
Gentlemen.
guests. Yeah, today from Italy. And this is why you can hear me, Birkin, speaking in English, not in Russian as you usually do. Welcome, Giacomo and Davide.
Davide, yeah.
Right. And with me in the studio today is Michael.
Doing uhums. That's it. This is all the words I know in English.
That's an important role.
Yeah, absolutely. What would we do without you? Like you would like make us feel uncomfortable, or when things go wrong, you would actually do the and
Be aware that now they are developing a very smart, intelligent artificial intelligence that is going to get your job. So
Damn.
be careful.
Enjoy your role.
I will hold
Till
it
you
better.
can.
All right.
Right. So why don't we start with the basics? You've just arrived in Montenegro today.
Yep.
So have you ever been to Montenegro before, guys?
No, I've never been.
No, first time.
Right.
And last time. Because
Oh,
no,
we are
I'm
so
kidding.
sorry to have disappointed you guys. Like, can
No,
you
we're
give us another
actually here
chance,
just for you
please?
guys.
Yeah.
We're actually here just for you. I
That's
would have
what
never
I think.
That's
came
cool.
if it wasn't for you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
True.
Wow. We are flattered. What can I say? That's great. So how is Montenegro?
I have no idea because we saw so little. I mean, looks more developed than Albania because
Really?
we live. Do you don't think so?
You know,
Come on, you're so
I have that.
so strict with your judgment.
Yeah,
I think
so
it's a little bit better.
The
Come on.
first 40 minutes of road till Bar were like the biggest nothing I've ever seen, even bigger than my city,
Come on, so
my home
tragic.
city.
No, it's actually not that bad compared to most of Albania because we actually moved to Albania. I moved 1 year ago. I was escaping from the Italian psychosis, and then Davide
I reached
arrived.
you like a few months later in March.
Yes, and now we are living in Tirana. That is not too far from here, so we thought to come visit you guys.
Thank
Are
you
you
so
coming
much.
back to Italy? Are you going to back?
I'm probably go back for Christmas
Me too.
if they don't get crazy back again during the winter. I don't think they will. I mean, they will get crazy, but in another
Each year.
sector of I don't know. They're gonna get crazy with the energy stuff and those kind of limitation. Not anymore on the health aspect. I hope
Okay, that's
Anything
cool.
can be.
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
We used to have some friends very conspirational. And I was always like, you guys are crazy. This is never going to happen. And then most of the things happened. So now I'm like, I'm not going to judge till now. I'm going to stay agnostic and we'll see. So
Same.
we'll see.
Yeah, you know, we have this expression, I think, hope for the best, but expect the worst or something like that.
Yes.
And,
Yes,
I think
but
this is
before
very, very-
2020, even the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have never expected that. Even if I applied what
Sure.
you just said, like the whole world would be shut down for a 99% survival rate virus. It's way outside of what I would have expected. So, but now we know that it's possible. So we'll see this winter what is going to happen.
Yeah. And it hit us so hard but not in Russia and not in Montenegro, I think. What would you
Yeah.
say, Michael?
That was the much softer situation here in Russia, even in Russia, I believe, which was surprisingly, because what would you expect from something so actually authoritarian country? But they didn't strike hard for some part.
Yeah.
There was a time they shut down people. But that was a short period, and it wasn't so so forced as it was in Italy or somewhere.
but you didn't have any green pass or
No.
QR
Well,
codes to show to go to pee in a bar or something like that.
really, you had that?
Yeah, sure.
No, you couldn't
Sure,
even
you're
go
not
to the bank or the
joking? Yeah,
postal
yeah, yeah.
office. I
Oh
couldn't
my
go to the
God,
bank.
that is horrible.
Yeah, I heard stories that was awful. For some parts there was a QR code. You could probably there was a QR code. Yeah,
In Moscow, maybe.
It was in some cities, in some regions. There is Russian Federation, so there is some kind of show, for the public that this is really federation, that they all the choices they take, it's not comes from the president himself, but kind of this is governors who actually take the decision. But that was probably like a situation where some of the governors literally didn't take the decision to shut down people with lockdowns. So that was much
Felt
soft.
better a
Yeah,
bit.
much
Yeah.
more. That was much better than Europe.
The only fun part of all this was that at one point the QR code generator key was hacked. So for a while I had the SpongeBob Green Pass.
There
I
was
really
also
proud of
Adolf Hitler, and the best one was something like 1996 Volvo for sale. Was the name of the Green Pass.
I knew people who used the dick pics for those QR codes. That's,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, we didn't have that.
Say hello to government.
yeah, that's the best way.
All right. Well, tell us about Albania. Why Albania? Why not some other countries? Why not Montenegro? Because
For main reasons. First one, taxes are lower in Albania. Second one, they were not strict on the COVID legislation. I mean, on paper, they actually had some laws, some restrictions, but in real life, not even Albanians knew about those. When I arrived in Vlora, I was like, I went in a shop or something, and people had no mask, and I told them, you guys know that actually in Albania there is a law that indoor you need to wear a mask, and they were like, no, that's not possible. I've never heard about that. And then I go next to the shop, and there's the owner at the desk there smoking a cigarette. So I was like, yes, this is the right place to be. Where people
dream come true.
smoke inside and not wear masks. So then warm weather was a factor. Like it's not like north of Europe or something. It's close to the sea. It's close to Italy. They speak Italian and English because Albania used to be a colony. I mean, has been a colony for a few years, and Italian colony. And then they still had Italian media during communism and for a lot of years because they get the signal from Italy. And so they speak Italian and they speak English. So it was good for us, and it was good for us to come back to Italy whenever we wanted.
Yeah, and there's to say that in Italy we had the lowest level of taxation, and it was 30% already, plus the Italian VAT, so like more than 50% of taxation. It's huge.
Yeah, and you even have to pay for the you have to pay taxes on the money you are going to earn the next year.
Yeah.
This is genial. I love it. It's like we
Yeah.
don't know how much you're gonna get. We're gonna just assume you're gonna get at least as much as you get this year. So you're gonna give us in advance this amount of money. I love it.
Yeah, making a business was almost impossible.
That's fucked up.
Completely fucked up.
Like that?
How do you guys even survive this? Well, I totally get it why you decided to move elsewhere. Well,
I believe in Montenegro, in Bari in particular, quite a lot of people speak Italian.
It is
at
very
least
popular.
between the people I met, because it's the bar is a kind of short name. It's been called Anti-Bar. It means the city
of Bari in Italy, and there is this
in
direct
front of
ferry,
Bari. Yeah.
that goes between Bari and Bar. And Bar used to be called Anti-Bari because it's direct opposite
I see.
that city
That's
in
cool.
Italy.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
I've been to a bar in Bar after being in Bari.
That's that.
Nice bar.
Right. And kids learn this language at school, English and Italian, and they are very, very popular. Even though most of the students, most of the tourists that come here are from Germany, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Serbia, I think. So
Yeah, and a lot of people from Russia, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you have a
actually-
regulation for the visas and stuff or something, I
Yeah.
guess.
right.
I believe that this is the largest community who comes here as a tourist. At least it was before the everything which happens now. Like war.
Yeah, you
Something
don't have
like
to hold yourself back. You can say war here. There's no censorship here.
well, before that, it was
Special operation.
It definitely was at least not exactly Russian, but Russian-speaking community. This is the largest part. There is a lot of even cafes, hotels, and a lot of other businesses which was brought here by Russian-speaking people. Ukrainians made a lot of great stuff here. Russians too. At least this was the case before the war. Now, at the moment, I don't know. I know the actual numbers. They were published lately, like to 20,000 people who live here officially using residential permits. It's only Russians in the country, which has only 600 people. That's a lot, and there is unknown amount of people who use.
I think it's 600,000.
600,000.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd better go to Homs again.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and there is an unknown amount of people who actually visa runs. So there is maybe even more people who visa runs, Russian-speaking people. So
Montenegro is the place for you guys, and
Yeah.
Albania is for us.
yeah, probably.
And we're gonna have a war one day.
Just to see who
Oh,
wins.
no.
Well, I see only two people who have settled down in Albania.
Russian-speaking libertarians against Italian-speaking libertarians.
I think we've had
After
enough
conquering
wars already.
Albania and Montenegro, that
we
would be
also
great.
are English-speaking libertarians, all of us. So we have a lot of in common. Let's unite. Let's not fight, please.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
That's so boring.
But honestly, like there's a big movement in Italy, right?
Big, it depends on what you compare it for.
Yeah, well,
from.
I don't know how many libertarian members do you have?
It's difficult to calculate. I mean, I can say that our core libertarian are few hundreds, like the people that are actually active.
Right.
And then maybe if you get people that they would probably define themselves libertarians, but they just live their life and they do not do much activism or anything. Few thousand maybe. I mean, you think so?
60 million.
Because if you ask some other
Few
people,
people.
they would say, oh, you know, if you consider the friend of a friend that is, yes, he would say these libertarians. People, they would say, yes, there would be 5,000, 10,000, but I'm very skeptic of that, judging on our numbers. Because, of course, I judge on our social media channels and everything. We have 2,800 subscribers on YouTube and 2,000 and something on Instagram, 2,000 on Facebook, something like that. So we are around that number, but of course, most of the people, I mean, the Italian libertarian community has a lot of boomers, a lot of, I don't know how to call them, a lot of kind of old people, so they don't use internet that much. It's people that you meet when we organize the events and everything, but they are not people that stay on online.
Yeah, it's not really popular between young people. And but after what happened with the COVID craziness, etc., it seems that some people started to think that
Yeah.
the government is not probably the right solution, but it's a really long way for a country that is you said before unexpressed socialism. So
Yes, it's still intrinsically socialist with a socialist mentality.
we had one of the biggest communism parties in Europe, but never really realized
It's potential.
its potential. So everybody,
Yeah, we never had actual communism. in Italy.
yeah. So a lot of people still thinks that this kind of shit could work. But luckily, after the COVID craziness was all made by a leftist government.
It would have been the same even if it was a right government. I mean,
But the point
that's
is,
good.
for a lot of years after the fascism, every time that someone was not agreeing with the left party was called fascist, because you want to discriminate, you want to put a party card and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now the left did the same. So now
Yeah, no,
everything is balanced.
It was great because I'm from a city in Italy that is very lefty, that is Turin, and the 25 of April, that is the Liberation Day, it's a festivity in Italy. It's a big thing among everyone, but especially among leftists. So usually we have like a barbecue and we have a party. And in 2020, there was the lockdown. And everybody were on their balcony having this celebration of freedom and liberation from fascism while they were coercively forced to stay in the house.
Mind blown.
Singing Bella Ciao, that it's a song. Oh, Bella Ciao. On the balcony. We are so free. Thanks, Americans, that freed us.
Did they see the irony of it?
No, absolutely not.
So they were sincere when they were celebrating.
Yes, they were all celebrating and feel so connected because we are all in this together, and we are saving our grandparents, staying on the balcony and celebrating freedom.
I'm getting used to it, sadly. Yeah, when I see people, they don't actually reflect the situation. They don't actually learn. This is one of the most frustrating things I learned last years. So I realized how many bad things happened in the past years and will happen, probably will always happen. It's because most of the people they don't want to learn. This is kind of sad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add what Davide was saying, even during COVID, about the numbers of our movement in Italy, a tiny percentage of people actually turned libertarian. But if we compare the number of people that revolt against the COVID hysteria, the ones that arrived to libertarianism are very few.
Yeah, we had like 10 million people that didn't get vaccination and was completely against. But what they say it's we need the politician that we say are good. So they are always into the hamster's wheel.
Maybe they are not acquainted to the alternatives. Yeah,
ideas.
Yeah,
but it's just the same old story. They are scared by the possibility of the anarchism.
I would say, since they are very lefty, as we said before, the mentality is very against the market. Their interpretation of the whole thing was that is actually true. I mean, partially true. The diagnostic of the problem was that the rich people, which I agree, some people like, I don't know, Bill Gates that invested a lot of money in the World Health Organization, and they pushed this thing and they corrupted the politician and they put this thing up. So the problem is not the government. The problem is that are the rich people that corrupt the politician and do whatever they want, and they force us to get the vaccine. That is a product of the free market, in their opinion. So even if they are against all this dictatorship, it's because of the rich people. And if we get the control, so the problem is that politicians get corrupted. But if we are the government, we are not corruptible. So and we would get all the power from the rich people. There would be no corruption and there would be no problem. The government would be the perfect entity that is supposed to be.
What's really ironic is that then they call us utopists. They talk about this thing. We are not corruptible, but you libertarians are the utopists.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
That says a lot about their knowledge and their views. They probably not acquainted good enough, I believe, to the ideas.
Yeah.
But I think actually libertarianism, its popularity is in the future. So we probably people like we should bring the ideas to the people. So I know a lot of people. I talk a lot about politics to people, and I know that I'm the only one in my inner circle that nobody knows about it, anything. So I taught everybody around me about it. So I think it's just too fresh. It's too young. So
yeah, probably you're right.
When the problems come, they don't refer to libertarianism as a decision to these problems yet. Yeah. So if they have been acquainted with the ideas, probably they shift much more people to the libertarianism, which is need to put much more work to get people acquainted with the libertarianism.
Yeah, but in Italy we are worse than the Nazis.
For Italians, some people told us that we are worse than the Nazis.
It's so sad. Well, all you need is the flexibility of the mind to be able to accept some of the ideas and embrace these ideas of libertarianism. And that's so sad that people cannot think outside the box, or at least try something else, experiment with some of the ideas.
Yeah, but it's a form of religious attachment to something
it's
like
tribalism. I mean, we are wired to have this mentality, to have a cognitive dissonance that cut out whatever it's dangerous. First of all, for your own identity and personality and your view of the world. Like for a lot of people, libertarianism, it's so radical that if they had to consider it, even a little bit would mean that they would have to reconsider a lot of what they are, their moral stand, and their friends, their community, their society, and everything that is too painful. Yeah. So the brain is wired to have this cognitive dissonance that makes you tribalistic, and you don't really care. Even if you tell them whatever you think is convincing, it goes to the ear and through.
We saw
out.
exactly this with the COVID, with this new gods named science. And even if you went to usually rational person and say, man, it's don't you see that basically the economics incentives are completely fucked up? No, but the medias are saying that. My friends says the same thing of the medias. My scientist friend says the same thing of the medias. How can you say the opposite? But it was exactly this. It was probably too painful to go against your friends, the society. My family and I did exactly this, and it was really scary to meet for a dinner all together and ask to each other, but what can we do tomorrow? Can we go to the bank? Can we go to work? Can we go to the post office without the vaccination? We don't know. It was really confused.
Plus, at the same time, in those months, there were people on the mainstream media, on TV show, like early TV show, famous intellectuals saying that there should be, I don't remember the name of the general. There was a general during fascism. No. General during fascism, that there was a manifestation and he shoot on the crowd and killed a bunch of people. And they said, I remember the name of this guy. And they said, oh, we need this guy. I knew of this guy to kill to shoot on the people that were protesting the vaccination.
Anti-vaxxers.
The anti-vaxxers. So on national TV, mainstream media, where there were people, that was very scary, at least for me, because if these guys just with no much of opposition saying that we should be killed, it's not. It's not.
And
it's kind of scary.
In recent times, there was on Twitter someone that collected all these sentences that were said by famous people in early night TV shows, something that even
Prime
kids
time.
could watch. Prime time, that we should die at home like rats or something like this. Was completely crazy.
And it's you that are the extremists and worse than fascists, etc. Like it's so messed up.
Yeah, we should
The irony.
we definitely should remind them of those times. And
But that's
never
how
forget.
propaganda works. And as soon as they get to power, they grab power. and
they
they're
did
not gonna
a
let
really
go.
good job actually from a
Yeah.
marketing point of view.
Yeah, and what I thought about it was that another factor was because some people say, "Oh, we never learn from history." But if I think about history and how teach history, for example, Nazism or fascism, it's communicated and told in such a parodistic caricature. I don't even know if it's a word. Caricatural
I think.
way, like the Nazis, the bad guy, and the general, like
cartoons.
it's just that you don't realize that it wasn't like that. The people were Nazis, and they were part of the system,
they agreed.
and they thought to be good people. It's not like German people were like, yes, I'm so evil, I'm just gonna kill Jews and everything. They were seriously convinced they were good people with a good moral compass and everything. So Italians, but probably all around the world, there's these images of Nazis as people, just bad people, like evil people. So if you talk to we call them covidiots in Italy, to covidiots during the time, they were no, you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy, and that's good that we not kill you, but we express our
we
will.
compress your freedom. This was the way they justified the shit they did to us, the compression of freedoms.
And all is because of science. Science said so.
Oh my
And
God.
the most ironic thing, and this blows my mind, since I always said Italy is very left-leaning, even if it's now there's a right, but it's still left in our views.
Yeah.
Before COVID, the COVID stuff, people were all against the big pharma, the multinational companies. They were the bad guys. All of a sudden, those that were the bad guys now are the saviors. Oh yes, I have this vaccine. Before I was saying the worst things about big pharma. Now I trust my life on your product and everything. No, it's not possible. No, of course the vaccine is completely safe and blah blah blah. Even if it was, which I don't believe.
It was proven. It wasn't tested at stuff.
It's still debatable.
But Pfizer representatives at the state, they under the oath, they say that never tested it actually before the delivering to the public.
So that's what we were saying.
So it's proven.
But even if it was absolutely true, like 1 second ago you were telling me that they're the evil companies and you were saying the worst, and now you trust your life. Well,
this is how our brain works. We just try to suppress those feelings, those ideas that sort of are counterintuitive to what is supposed to be the agenda these days, and we just try to be with the majority and imagine that we are with with the majority of the people.
Yeah, majority is always a safe place,
Right.
a comfort
Exactly.
zone.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, we are like errors in the system.
Yeah, but well, that's also, as we say, we are actually wired for that. Like, because for millions of years of human evolution, if you went against the collective, against your tribe, it meant either actual death or biological death. Like you had a lot of problems to get your gene
To find a mate.
to the next generation, to find a mate. So we are actually brained for that. And there's a very interesting
Research.
book on the formation of totalitarianism from a Belgian professor, I think that is called. His name is Desmet.
Yeah,
Desmet?
Matthias.
Desmet. And has this wonderful book where he explains how there's this mass formation, this psychological process that takes you to totalitarianism. So there's first of all, there needs to be a society that is where individuals are disconnected, like there's not communal participation, and you feel isolated. The thing that you had with the lockdown, and you have this growth of anxiety that you cannot link to anything. First of all, because we don't know there's this virus, we cannot see it, we cannot do anything. We are completely powerless in the front of this threat, and this anxiety grows, and at a certain point, someone arrives and tells you, and links finally this anxiety to something. This is the solution. And you have to do this to solve the problem. So everybody finally, first of all, everybody was disconnected, and now you have something that reunites the collective. Now the community is strong back again. So we are all in this together, and yes, we are fighting this virus. So the anger that was created by us, it wasn't just that we were saying we don't want to get vaccinated or we're against this thing. We were actually saying to them subconsciously, we don't want you to be together, united. We are against society. We want the destruction of society, and what keeps you united. So, and that makes a very instinctive reaction, primordial reaction. That is what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
How can we fight that? I was just wondering. And these days, you don't really have to rely on our tribe, on a society, because we have our creature comforts. We can provide ourselves with our food. We can buy things. We can just get things done. Why still have this thinking, I wonder? And how can we fight this?
Well, I'm not absolutely. I'm one that pushes for libertarians to build communities. So I'm all for communities and society. The problem is that when this social aspect of the human being get sabotaged by the superstition. So the problem is not the fact that we get together and do things together, or we ostracize people. The problem is that when the collective can turn individual bad in collective good, and that is not actually made the fact that we want to live together. It's actually made just by the government superstition, the worship of authority. There are a lot of experiment.
The Milgram
experiment is the most experiment and stuff like that. You don't agree with that?
It's just that it has been disproven, because in this experiment you mentioned, there were actors and there were those people who were told to do these horrible things to a person in the next room. They knew they weren't really doing any harm, and they were kind of playing along. And it was proven later. But I see your point. Yeah.
Well, there are other experiments. First of all, there is another experiment with the guards and
Stanford experiment.
Yes, the Stanford experiment. But even if they get along, some people saw the experiment because they did it even in recent days, and there were people that were actually absolutely convinced that they were hurting the other guy, and they were suffering inside. They were like, no. They were touching their head, saying, I cannot do it, but they did it. So I'm not that sure that they were all. Maybe some of them were like just getting along with the game. They thought they were a game, but some of them they didn't think it was a game. But in any case, we can actually see what the believing authority can do, because if someone tells you that you have to get vaccinated, that you have to do this and you have to do that, you have to stay inside your house for 6 months, they do that.
It's a huge philosophical problem, because when you feel you cannot be really happy, but even before the COVID shit, there was this problem that a high percentage of population in the West in particular was clinically depressed. This is the basic condition to make people do what you want, because you provide a meaning for their life if they are not finding a way. And the Taoists would say that a society like ours that always stimulates desires and links your happiness to something that is missing in your life, creates the soil, a fertile ground to make any kind of authoritarianism grow. It's
and also that's the reason why government tries to kill local communities. Like back in the days, the assistential part of society, like if you're poor, if you have disabled, whatever, you get help from the church. I'm atheist, so I really don't care much about the church. But back in the day, the church had an aspect in the society, and you get help by your family. You get help from your family and relatives and whatever. And now the government tries to destroy all of this. It's destroy the small communities. Why? Because if you have your family that helps you, you don't need to go to the state. Exactly. But if you have no family, no church, no whatever, no worries, you can get to the public system, health system, or whatever. So there's the system
but
worked well.
It will prevail.
I know a lot of people that works in the government, and they are not like the Nazi topic. They are not. They don't think they are evil. They think they are doing the good thing. They just don't see the other side of the coin. But it's like it's like the Lord of the Ring. You can give the Ring of Power to the cutest hobbit, and he will get corrupted. It's just like this.
It's always going to be.
Oh, and this to me, it's connected to another collective phenomenon that it's happening: the superhero figure. So I agree with Alan Moore, that is the creator of Watchmen, etc., and say the superheroes as they are created right now are like I don't know the term, the anticamera, the first part for a fascist, for an authoritarian ideology, because you put all your faith not in yourself but in another being much more powerful than you. And this is interesting because our contemporary culture is completely into the deep of this thing with Marvel. We are
obsessed with them.
Obsessed. The only one that is apart Watchmen, of course, but The Boys did a really good job showing that if you give so huge power to a person with feelings, with bright sides and dark sides, it will be only a huge mess. It should be interesting to help people to connect this thing also to the government, to the power to start violence to a group of people, toward a group of people.
Yeah, I
Right,
agree.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, you've been talking about how your country is going left, and we know statistically that the whole world is going left and like kind of lefter and lefter these days. So, how come you haven't really given up hope on a free or freer libertarian society, and what kind of makes you want to continue what you do?
There's no other way.
Yeah, there's no much
The
else to do.
philosophically speaking,
You don't
Ja-
feel like you've already lost the battle.
actually no, because I don't know.
Well, it depends. It depends what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, as Davide was saying, there's not much else to do. Like, you either just give up
Yeah, yeah.
or you do something. So, but there's some hope. Like, there's Bitcoin. There's this rise in libertarianism because of the state system is
It's the only
It's
answer.
failing.
It's the only answer to the system.
also we can interpret these last years as winning of the system or a losing, like the last scream of a dying beast. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
Actually,
but
yes.
it could be. And judging by the economic cycle, the debt cycle, and everything, we may be at the end. Considering also Bitcoin, that's
also-
a big hope.
This is, I completely agree with you. But the other thing that gives me always hope is that the individual, the single person, is libertarian in a philosophical way. Because if you tell to anyone, would you agree to go and take some money from that guy also to make something good, but you go to him and rob him to give to the poor? They would say, no, I would never do this. So
I don't know. I knew a few guys who would say that.
the majority of people I speak with, so it's like
Well, if there's a beggar on the street,
Mhm.
if you ask people, do you think it's right for that beggar to use violence to get your money?
Yeah.
They would all say, no, this beggar can ask me money, but
Yeah.
he would be allowed to use force against me.
Yeah.
So,
It's just that they
in
cannot connect
a
it
certain
to-
way, the libertarian philosophy, the moral philosophy, is something so natural, so spontaneous, because
Yeah.
everybody knows that if we start to legalize the theft or the violence, the society would collapse.
yeah, but that's the
just
thing.
pure logic.
They don't interpret that action as violence, as a bad action. That's why the beggar that use violence to get your money, it's a criminal.
Right.
But if I do it through the government, it's not.
Yeah.
So that's the superstition.
The double standard.
The double standard, exactly.
Yeah.
Like most of the people actually have a good moral compass in everyday life. Most of the people, like probably just 1% of psychopaths that actually do evil to make people suffer, and they really get no emotion from that, any bad emotion. Most of the people are completely fine, but when it comes to government, there's a completely another way of thinking.
Yeah, well, I think part of the reason is that we are born into a country and we don't choose a country where we were born. And I think people who were born in China, for example, would not feel unfree. Well, they would just say, no, I'm fine. Actually, I can do whatever I want. It's just that they don't really see the constraints.
Yeah, it's like the I don't know who said that when there's a fish in a bowl of water.
In a fish bowl.
Yeah, and the fishes meet. One fish said to the other, "How's the water?" And the other fish says, "What water?"
Yes.
So that's the case.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to really take a step back and look at the bigger picture before you realize that you're being screwed. Let's be honest. But what I wanted to say and piggyback on what you said earlier is that you're doing a pretty good job, because I did check out your website, and I saw some of the videos that you made for your Italian libertarian community, and I really like those strikingly simple examples, like with the kids and the toys and everything, how easy this can be shown, and like to show to people. Like, do you not see the how messed up this is, how messed up your logic is? And I think maybe we could actually start with kids and see, do you think the next generation has a better
absolutely
hope?
that's why now I'm doing a game, a libertarian game, and then later I'm gonna let you guys test it out. Wow. But yeah, no, it's those videos actually born from the actual saying, oh, you don't get it, I'm gonna make you a drawing. It's in Italian. I don't know if it's used in English, but in Italian it's like, you're so dumb that I'm gonna sketch it out for you because you cannot get it. So I'm gonna make a drawing. So in the video I make everything schematic. It's a very rational way to put it. I think this is a very a problem common to many libertarians. I think we tend to be in this society. If you become libertarian, it's because you have a certain mindset. You are a more logical and you have a certain personality traits, and that means that we tend to approach things in a very logical, straightforward way. But it's not actually how people think. And it's the emotional factor is very important. So on one side, I try to make it very simple. It's still logical, but it's not emotional. On the other side, we try this approach that we were talking about it before. That it's called candles in the dark. It's a method elaborated by Larkin Rose. He's an American libertarian, and he uses those methods that psychologists use to wake up people that young people that lived their whole life inside the set. Inside set, come si dice? Set. It's like a religious set.
Oh, right, a cult.
A cult, exactly.
Religious cults.
So, since they've been in cult for years, probably, and they are being brainwashed, whenever a guy tells them, oh, this is a cult, you have been brainwashed, and this is wrong, this is not true, and you have been educated to push against anything that comes from outside the cult, and the patient get cognitive dissonance, get a barrier in his brain, and get even deeper. No, so see, you're saying this, so they were actually right. You are mean, and you want me to change my mind. So it doesn't work. So psychologists developed a method to approach this problem and approach people that were in a cult. And Statism is an actual cult. So it's a way completely not confrontational, not conflictual, not antagonistic, to get the patient to reality, to the truth. So we are doing a little bit of experiment with this, and I think it's on one-on-one is the best method. On online, probably not, because there are other factors. But that's important, I think.
Well, that's great. Well, no, you're already doing what you can, and that's the most important thing. You're not just like giving up, just like us here, right? I wanted to ask you, like, what you think you can be proud of. Do you have any personal achievements in the libertarian community in Italy that you would say, okay, this is part of my job, like I've done what I could, and I can be proud of this result?
Well, for now, I'm kind of. I think still. I think that the Italian libertarian movement is still very small, and we can do much better than that. But before I arrived, it was a dying movement, I think, because I don't know why. I mean, I have some hypotheses, but I'm not sure. In Italy, after a certain age, libertarianism stopped completely. Like you had 50 years old, 60 years old people, down from younger than that, no one.
Yeah.
So that is weird, and maybe because they didn't have many children, or their children didn't become libertarian. That's a big problem. And this is a very huge topic that I get a lot of hate from libertarians about this. We can talk about it if you guys want, about peaceful parenting. That it's another way to actually get libertarianism out. And so the movement was dying. There was nothing online. There was a bad website, no social channels. So I actually built a new website, the Facebook page that has been banned. It had 4,000 likes, and then they banned it for no reason. So
That is so sad.
yes, but then we have the Instagram page, the YouTube channel, and everything. So it's small, but this is something that I did. Davide helped me. But it's just us. Like at the end of the day, the movement is growing, but to do activism and actual work, there are just very few. So I'm proud of the work we've done. It's not something I would boast about because we're still very small. I mean, but that's what we can do.
But yeah, we are not many, but the guys that are inside the groups are much more powerful than having 10,000 people that it's lukewarm. They are really hot. They are applying the libertarian principles to their life. They are example for other people also, because usually if you are libertarian, you have a strong mindset. You're not living your life passively. You are really active. You're caring about your small world around you. That disconnect is again to what we were saying before, that libertarian trusts the connections, the real connections between him or her and the people around him and her, and cultivates some kind of happiness for also. I know I'm going really spiritual, but I like these kind of things. I'm really interested in these things. And for example, in Taoists, where asked,
Are you a Taoist?
I'm just interested in this shit. The Taoists said to the government, your best job is to do nothing, just to let the people be free, express themselves, and equilibrium will be found. So
really?
Yeah, it's they're really cool. They are really spontaneous, and also this is another reason I'm really hopeful, because everything is a cycle, and we're just looking at the acme of the authoritarianism, and we are just part of the movement that will bring again some freedom there and some happiness. And some real connections, because the meaning. I watched a really interesting movie some times ago, Waking Life, and they said if there's a God, anything it means. If there's something meaningful in life, it's between you and me while we speak, while we talk. And
that's
I
beautiful.
think,
Cool.
Yeah, that's also what they say about anarchy. Like when they say, "Oh, when in history ever been an anarchy society, or where in the world there's anarchy, or whatever." And the classic Michael Malice's answer is anarchy is not a place in time or space. Anarchy is what is happening between you and I. We are talking voluntarily and having this interaction. So that's what anarchy is.
it's all connected.
It's an interesting way to put things.
Yeah, like as long as it's an agreement between the two people and it's a voluntary agreement and people do whatever they want between themselves, that's fine already. And this is anarchy. Interesting. Well, and I must say that you have done so much, and you must admire your work, because you've been doing these Assembleas, annual events, and I saw those 200 people at the conference that you showed.
Yeah, this was the limit. I think we could get much more, but
So
The limit was 200.
so I would like to say that it's not nothing.
Yeah, no. What I like much more than the meeting we do is because at the meeting at the end of the day they are all the kind of old people. I mean, not all of them,
Yeah.
but many. What I like the most about doing this effort is are the 13, 14 years old kid on Instagram messaging me, oh, I saw your videos and I became libertarian and thank you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, I just ruined your life. You're welcome. But no, I really like to have the young kid because the old ones, yes, it's good that they go to the meeting, but I get much satisfaction by the people saying that they became libertarian because of the videos.
Well, yeah.
Or the memes.
They have to stay libertarian for the rest of their lives, though.
Most of the people remain libertarians.
Right, here's hoping. How do you think we can collaborate, and how can we draw, I don't know, inspiration from each other? How can we help each other? Because you have a libertarian community which is much bigger than what we have here in Montenegro. We're much more active socially, as you can see, because we have our own club and people that meet up on a daily basis, and we're sharing our ideas, and we do things right here. Like we buy land, we're going to build houses, etc. So are there any ways you can see we could work together?
Well, you're an example. We just can
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, on the community aspect, like we came here to not just get inspiration. Like one of the main effort of the movement is actually try to build a community. So you guys achieved something that I tried for years. Just first starting some Telegram groups, trying to gather people that wanted to build a community. It's very difficult. I gave up. I didn't give up, but now I'm more like it's not going to happen till someone with a bunch of money actually take initiative. So that's what actually happened here, from what I've heard. On the practical aspect of community building, you guys are the main representant.
They are the main example.
Yeah, like in Europe, there's not any other libertarian community like this one. Maybe there's one in the north of Norway or something like that, but I don't even consider it, because if you go that far, of course you're anarchic because there's nothing. But more close to civilization, your community is one of the biggest. I don't know if you... of course, there's Liberland and everything they tried for years, but it didn't do anything. So it's much more practical and useful to have your method that is closer to mine than the Liberland method of asking for a permit to the government. Yes, let me do anarchy next door to you. They were never gonna let you do that.
Yeah, we saw how it ended in Honduras, I think, because this.
Oh, they said yes, and then they said no.
Prospera, yes, because now they're scrapping it and they're just shutting them down, as far as I know. Maybe this is not what I like. What is actually happening, but this is the last that I heard, because the government changed. Now they're much more leftist than they used to be, and they say, okay, scrap that experiment of yours. But I think we sometimes half-jokingly say, thanks to Mr. Putin, we are here because of the war and everything that started, because the economy is going to the dogs, and so many people actually had to seek, a better place to be and to raise their kids, etc. And they looked at Montenegro, and you guys probably haven't seen the worst days of Italy, and maybe that's. Of course, that's great, and I love Italy. I've been there once, and I will never forget that experience. But also, that can be a curse for you, because the life in Italy and in Europe isn't bad enough for people to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely the situation of Italian libertarian. It's not bad enough.
And the difference between us and the leftists, socialists, etc., that I believe in those critical theories where they believe they need to destroy all old ways to start live their new ways, and this is the things that we oppose. And this way, actually, we can bring the new world we see, the better world we see, because we believe in non-aggression principles and so on. And leftists, on the other hand, they actually try their best to actually destroy the old ways. They destroy families, societies, religions, everything the people stand on. They're trying to kick it out from.
And they have to. They try to replace everything and substitute everything that has existed so far with themselves.
Sounds
obviously.
like a religion to me.
Yeah.
Anything.
Sounds like Taoism.
Genders.
No, it doesn't.
No, Taoists usually are hippies.
Yeah.
So you're turning
But
Taoist.
I've just remembered another community, this Free State Project in New Hampshire and the
Yeah.
USA, that we can probably all look to.
Yes and no. I mean, it's been there for a while and it's working good, but I don't know. I'm not that convinced because it's a trade-off, like with the government. It's not purely anarchist. It's like a little bit there. It's like a gated community, like many in America. So I'm not saying that it's a bad place to live or whatever, or they didn't achieve anything. Very good. But I would like to see something more anarchist in a decentralized way. I don't know how to express it. So, like,
I get it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe they just in the course, like they used to be like that, but because they had to find ways to somehow collaborate with the government, whatever government they have, they had to make amends. They had to find compromise, and this is their way. This is their transformation.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, and the thing is that probably they stay. Their situation is so good that it's not worth it to go all the way.
Yeah.
Pure anarchism. Yeah, no, yes, you American government, you're letting me do letting me do this and that. I live wonderfully, low taxes or whatever. Everything, a lot of things are private and everything. I just have to pay you federal taxes or whatever. I'm not gonna have a war on you with just things. You already allowed me to have a lot of things that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not worth it. But that's on one side, I cannot blame them. I mean, of course. Why should you ruin your life just to get 100% instead of 90%? On the other side, maybe I'm more on a romantic aspect. I really wish to see a purely anarchic made probably by poor people. Like the best would be poor people, because if you're rich, you have a lot to lose.
Yeah.
You are easily corruptible or convincible. But if you're poor, and there are a lot of people, you just lose control, and people really don't care. It's like in Albania, we're living in Albania. They're libertarian, but not because they give a shit about libertarianism or philosophy or they're intellectual. They really don't care. They just have to survive, and they're like that. They had the communism for a lot of years, very harsh communism, and now first of all they're skeptic of the government, and then if the government tells them you have to do this, they're like, I don't give a fuck. I have to get money because I earn 300, 400 euros a month. I want to get a better situation. So if you try to make things harder, I'm just gonna ignore you. And that's what they do. So I really wish to see 10,000 anarchists poor. They would do miracles, I think. They wouldn't give a fuck.
But do you think you would be able to cultivate that kind of force in Albania? Do you think you'll be able to grow your own little or not so little libertarian community?
I don't think
Albania?
so. I mean, not in Italian, not from the Italian community right now.
Right.
Because they don't move. I mean, I'm not giving a bad judgment on them. I don't blame them at all. But If you have family, if you have a good job, why the hell would you ever move to Albania?
There's a lot of people that is moving to Albania.
They are not libertarians, though.
Well, they are not aware, but they are running away for.
Yes, they are running away because there's not my man on the right seat.
Yeah, a part of them think like that, but I'm hanging out with a lot of lovely boomers, and they are completely skeptical for every kind of.
Yeah, but I always say that the difference between 0.1% statist to 0% is much bigger than 99% statist and 0.1. I don't know if you get what I said.
Yeah.
There's more different from the 1% to the 0% than from the 99% to the 1%. Because the 91 to the 1 is a quantitative difference. From the 1 to the 0 is a qualitative difference. So it's a huge step. It's much more difficult to convince one guy that wants 1% government that wanted to 0, than make one from 50% to 20 to 30, because it's just a quantitative.
But even both of us, we didn't born libertarians.
No, but I didn't.
Someone showed us the way.
What you mean? No, I completely agree that you can convince people.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that there's a huge mental step to pass from the 1% to the 0.
Imagine it's like a lukewarm list of contacts to try to educate. In Albania.
What?
Lukewarm, tiepidi. Una lista tiepida.
Okay. A lista tiepida, okay.
They are not hot, they're not completely ready, but we can work on them a little.
Oh, that's for sure. I'm all for that.
Okay,
I'm just saying that.
I'm always on the hope
we tend
side.
to think, oh yes, there are so many libertarians, so many anarchists.
No, they are not. But
potentially, yes.
Maybe.
Maybe yes.
There's some work to do.
So I see no community in Albania growing up from the Italian community. Not now, because they still have a job, they have a good life, they have families there and everything. So it's not gonna happen. I tried, not gonna happen.
But let's hope for the best, and you're doing what you can online, and hopefully those kids that reach out to you saying, "Okay, thank you for showing me the light. We're back to spiritualism." Like they will be able to make a difference, and because the kids grow very soon, they might be 13 or 14 now, but in 3 to 4 years they would be able to vote, and they might actually start changing the political arena.
No, I hope they don't vote. If they vote, I failed completely.
Sorry. What came into me? Of course not.
No, I'm all against the voting and
no, it's
politics.
Just that I know that in it. Yes. It's just that I know that you have, guys, this Libertarian Party in Italy. I don't know how big it is. But
What Libertarian Party?
We do?
No. I think you mean. Oh no, I think you mean. There's a party that's called Libertarian Party.
Yeah, I googled
but it's,
it.
Yes, I don't know if it's the one we're talking about, but there's one that they are not in our movement.
Oh,
they are much less, and they are Georgist. They want communism for the land.
And they call themselves libertarian.
Yes, they call themselves libertarian. So we actually agree on a lot of things, because they are for free market, but for the land we need communism for the land. So they took the name of Libertarian Party, but they are much smaller than our movement. But our movement, it's pushing. I mean, I'm trying to push more the agorist way, the pure anarchic, than the political way. Even if inside the movement, a lot of people say no, we should vote and blah blah blah. So there's a debate.
Okay, great. Well, I hope we will still see this new generation of libertarians in Italy who will start to change the political arena in any way, like even if they don't have to vote.
I think it's more likely that they will be so poor because the system is going to fail. They will fuck it. We're going to move to Albania and have a community.
And
I think
We
so.
wait for you guys.
Yes, let's
Yeah.
hope that Italy is going to fail soon.
Yeah.
because
Probably.
things have to be really, really bad.
Yeah, especially
for them to-
for young people,
that,
because the boomers still have
Yeah.
some money
They have
earned.
a lot of money.
They have a lot of money, but I know young people
Yes,
don't have any.
we are screwed. They are even more screwed than us.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
true, true.
Yeah. But this is also a part of the problem. You know, when you do not have any money to manage, you don't understand the value of hard working, and it's a lot easier to become that kind of person that says, "Oh, the government has to fix that."
Yeah, you know what? I was just taking this visa run. I was going to Bosnia and I was talking with my driver about libertarianism, of course, because I advertise the
Sure.
community wherever I can. And he said, "Oh, libertarian. It's easy to be libertarian in Europe." And I thought, wouldn't be so sure about that because, and I remembered you guys as well. And I thought maybe not so easy.
Why was he
Yeah.
saying that?
Probably because libertarians are not oppressed, in his opinion, and it's probably easy and probably safe to express ideas that are contrary to the general opinion of that comes from the government, in particular.
Yeah, it's always easy to express idea that when you are very small and you are a very small following, it's very easy. Wait to have 1 million people listening to you, and let's see if it's easy.
Yeah.
If we will ever reach those numbers, but I don't think so. But we hope so.
Well, we understand things in comparison to others. So in Russia, you can have no subscribers or something, but you can get imprisoned just for saying for calling war a war and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, how
so
many-
in compared to Russia, so Europe probably is a bit much
Yeah.
more free.
But that's the thing.
yeah.
That's why you guys are here probably because
Yeah.
your situation is worse than the
Yeah,
average
we
Italian.
have-
Yeah, because a lot of us would probably be behind bars for the ideas expressed here.
Yeah, exactly.
But how many libertarians are in the Russian-speaking world?
It's difficult because we do have this libertarian party, which is not registered, and it's kind of split into two. It's very difficult to count.
One of the leaders of one of the halves of this old party, he has a channel in YouTube. His name is Mikhail Svetov, and he has like 250,000 subscribers. So maybe this is a number of at least people interested. I don't know how many of them are agents of FSB.
Does he
but-
speak in Russian?
Yeah,
On the channel?
He speaks Russian in the channel in general, but he sometimes he has
Lectures in English.
in English, yeah, it's-
Sometimes he is a guest, just like you guys. Like
Okay, but well, the channel is in Russian, so we can approximate his following to the libertarian group.
Yeah, yes, you know, I would like to add something that I think I find him some of the one of the most he one of the best thinkers of libertarianism at the current time, I believe. He's kind of young, but he's actually super well educated. He reads a lot. When you listen to him, you just sometimes long enough because he speaks a lot, and some of the things they can enrage people. So you need to actually dig it in to know. But I think
well, yeah, so many people in Russia, like so many libertarians among our community, they came to libertarian through him.
yeah, exactly. Well, I did at least.
Yeah, there are huge communities. I mean, if it's 500,000 people, it's a lot. Also in Brazil, there are big communities of anarchists. In Argentina now there's Milei. I don't know if you heard about him.
This Mikhail Svetov we talk about, he lives in South America at the moment. He is at Brazil now. He takes interviews with the local libertarians. He promised that he will publish some new interviews. They are going to be in English, so maybe you can hear a bit from.
But that's the thing. In the South America, they had socialism for so long. Like in Argentina, they failed once every 2 seconds. In Brazil, they had communism for a lot of years. So when sometimes they just scratch the bottom of their shithole, but at the end, probably they have to try something different. So now the libertarian movement in Argentina is growing, in Brazil is growing as well, because they got such a bad situation that they were kind of forced from by events.
They get fed up.
That's the thing. What I'm sad about is that it's difficult in a country that is not poor enough to push this idea, because it's you have too much to lose. Except maybe in America, but because in America it's the only liberal revolution ever happened in the world. So there's a different mentality.
Well, in the long run, we believe that leftists will make people broke at the end. So you will need to wait.
The others' money will finish always at a point. So it's just the destiny of all these kind of economic systems. It's just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time, exactly. So I think you will see the moment quite soon.
That's why we need to delegate.
This is another thing that gives me hope. This has to happen. So I think I can just live my life peacefully and synced with libertarian values, and it's okay like that.
You need to give people the ground to stand on when the things will come to an end. The current system will start to break down. They need to have this thought that, like you said, with the COVID situation, when the COVID happened, people were locked in their homes, and what the idea they come up with. We need new politicians, better ones. They had no idea when the system will fail. They will have the same idea that we need some other politicians, which speaks beautiful things and stuff.
It's a cycle. Probably will happen again and again for a while. I don't know. Nobody knows the future. I don't know if the human psyche will change in this way. If I don't know. After generations and generations of people with a good moral compass will lead to a complete anarchist situation. I really don't know that.
But when things will get bad, if we already have, as you said, like a small community already established somewhere, some people won't just stay there and they will actually move. So it's good to have, as you say, something already start to do something. That's what you guys are doing.
You are actually the only hope, because if you succeed in creating an attractive community based on volunteer interactions, and maybe someday a person will see a video of your community enjoying just some time together, because this is what we really need to do. And maybe this is the first brick of something really bigger, because this is the emotional part that Giacomo was talking about before, that is missing, something to dream.
Mm-hmm.
Actual politicians are really able to sell smoke, to sell dreams. Libertarians cannot do that, actually.
Well, I don't think
in the classic way.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that they don't sell dreams; they sell laziness. Like we have dreams as well, but our solution is like you have to save yourself, and
keeping dream is a form of laziness.
Well, we have dreams as well, but
our
but dreams is like it's difficult.
What the guys are doing, it's really practical. It's something you can see, you can touch.
In our case, not their case. Their case is like, don't worry, you don't have to do anything. You just have to live your life and vote for me. And
sure. Yes, but I'm talking about Montelibero community.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's something you can see, touch, experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, but that's the thing. I was arguing with Nico and his friend. There was a this friend of ours that was saying that us as a movement, we are not giving people a solution. But at the end of because if we say, oh, we want to build a community, you should put some effort, struggle to build a community, and this is the solution. They're like, no, I cannot leave my grandma here. I cannot leave my job. I have my family here. So there are a lot of excuses. I mean, a lot of justifications that are completely fair. But at the end of the day, what do they want to hear? They want to hear you don't have to do anything. You don't have to renounce. You don't have to do sacrifices. You just have to vote. Because at the end of the day, when people say, oh, no, but this is not a solution. This is a utopia. This is a dream. This is impossible. I cannot move. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. They are just doing that because they want to hear, and now you don't have to do anything. You just have to vote. Go that one day, put the name on it, on the paper, and that's it. Yeah. So one day with these people that are actually... they're worried for the future, and they actually want a solution. They want the easy one. One day, when the things they will continue to vote and do just that and hope for the figure that is gonna save them. One day, the situation will be so bad that they're gonna move to the place where we start building, like we as you mostly, because. This is a very advanced project, and hopefully, maybe instead of moving to Albania when the Italian situation will be bad, we're going to move here. Who knows?
Yeah, why not? Because there are side projects that at least we've been aware of for quite some time now. Like there are people from Austria and Germany coming over and saying, okay, we'd like to build something like that. We would like to buy some land, etc. And more and more people are coming. I don't know, like what they're doing these days, because it's a bit of a it's classified. I would say, like they would probably prefer not us to discuss them in any way, probably. But there are people who are interested and who would like to just replicate this model. Because we are criticized as libertarians for being idealists, for being dreamers, etc. So it's not going to happen. Utopias, exactly. But this is something that we are showing. And tomorrow, when you guys go to MTL City, you will see roads that have been built under NCAP.
That's not possible. Yes. I refuse to believe it.
Exactly. You will see it yourself. You're nice.
My brain will have a huge cognitive dissonance, and the road will disappear from my view. It's gonna be.
We will record everything, so you cannot deny it. But do you guys have any questions for us?
I have a lot of questions, but probably they're boring, like technical. How you guys pulled it off, and how many guys, how much money did they put in, and how many people did that, how many people. But I don't know if you want to talk. I mean, it's just technical stuff. Maybe I don't know if it's interesting enough.
A more relational question, because of course one of the biggest objection I receive talking about that is how would people manage controversials and disagreement in a free society? How do you manage this kind of situation? I can imagine that you do not agree at the 100% every time, or something.
They shoot at each other.
Yeah,
Far West style.
Well,
the shooting range.
Well, it's if it's voluntary. It's
a duel with a white weapon, because shooting. It's too fast, and too fast. You cannot sell tickets.
And the state use guns. So
yeah. No,
we should use
how do you manage the justice in your community? How do you manage controversials, etc.?
Dispute resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, actually, we have a little group called Montelibero Court, where we settle disputes the libertarian way. There have been 2 or 3 cases that have been solved. I haven't been part of it, so I cannot really tell you all the details, but where the people who were accused of something agreed that they did wrong and they compensated for their wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to not reach out to the police or to the government, etc. We try to settle it down.
But
settle it
the judgment
between
was
ourselves.
from a jury or from a judge?
I think there is a jury. We even have a project of an actual court where there are the roles of the judge, of the jury, and the defendant and the prosecutor, etc. It's just that we haven't been able to implement this model so far because these disputes are so small and insignificant, and people just
It's not worth it.
when they talk, yeah, exactly. When they just talked with each other, they realized that this must have been some miscommunication, etc. And they understand, they see the difference, and they see the truth now.
Yeah, at the moment, sadly or happily, we don't have a long story of disputes or something like that. So,
That's cool.
yeah, but basically, we just got around the idea. So people more or less of the same views, at least they're close, and we kind of loyal to the idea. So we're loyal to each other in this case. So we kind of communicate, trying to communicate to each other.
Super cool.
Yeah, we're trying to hear each other. This is kind of we feel like we're the same spirit or something like that. So we try to listen to each other, to hear each other. So this is why we don't have a lot of disputes. We argue a lot, really, about a lot of things, even to how to interpret the non-aggression principle or something like that. The age of consent, at least, the funny topic. Anything like that. We argue over anything, but we always looks like we try to hear, to listen, to think about it, and just working it out or everything.
Yeah, and also speaking of MTL-TV, which is our new settlement that we are building at the moment, I think we already have this draft contract, or we're preparing this draft contract for those people who are going to actually live there, because those people who are going to live on the same territory are bound to have some conflicts, because you don't like someone's music, you don't like that you have, like, I have dogs, etc., and one thing leads to another. So we try to prevent this from happening by actually writing it down.
Yeah, this is the hard part anyway.
And it's all an experiment, and we understand that this is going to be, like, it hasn't been done before, at least in this country.
What matters is that there's no upper authority that can just decide, except if it's the owner of the place, and of course, speaking about
private property
the owner.
Yeah.
You have to try Giacomo's game.
All right. But
I'm
maybe later.
advertising it.
Yes, and I think the first point there is that you agree to try to settle things inside the community.
Yeah, I wrote a kind of a paper about the best way to build an anarchist society, and part of that was that, like, what's the punishment for someone who tries to solve a dispute with the government, that is actually like trying to solve a dispute, calling the mafia group of your territory. So it's like an actual aggression. So that's a crime, and of course you can decide either to punish it with ostracization, ostracism, and or even worse crimes. Like, technically, of course, it's libertarianism is so you can have a different jurisdiction. Some communities could consider the fact that you try to call the mafia group like a huge crime. So if I actually set your house on fire, it wouldn't be that bad of a punishment. I'm exaggerating maybe, but not too far. Like, it shouldn't be considered like a light thing to go to police to solve a dispute. Like, technically, it's a huge aggression.
Yes,
absolutely.
Agree.
Well, in any case, you will be the first to know, I think, if there is anything brewing. If there are any conflicts in our libertarian community, we'll probably let you know, because you need to be aware of these things when you're going to build your own libertarian community of your own.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
you will be like a case history for us.
And
It's cool.
a case
Yeah.
study. Yeah.
This is why we record the things.
absolutely.
For the history, even though they're not very popular at the moment, but
Super cool.
They'll be with
Nice
our
job, guys.
NCA agent, that they listen. There's one guy. is,
like you said, like a candles in the dark. So we are the candles in the dark for
Yes.
those
Yeah.
who need it. Actually, we
Sure.
don't afraid of those CIA and stuff. People,
Absolutely.
they know that people like we exist. They are not interested, but we are kind of candles in the dark for those who actually need this.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Super cool.
And Europe, till as I said, the only case of a libertarian community is yours. So it's a big responsibility, and
well,
hopefully
well,
there won't be others. I hope all the people that want to do something like that they're gonna come
of
here.
course, yes. We want to be the beacon of hope, so
Yes.
to speak. Well, it's probably time for us to call it a night. What do you think? Because we've
Yes,
been recording for like
yeah.
1 minute, 1 hour and 14 minutes.
It was
already.
1 hour and 40.
Yes.
Oh,
More
I thought it
than
was
an hour
worse.
and a
I thought it was longer, but
No,
that's
it's
good.
Fine. No, look, because you did talk earlier today.
Yeah.
It probably
Yeah,
all
we've been
blended
speaking like
in.
for 5-6 hours straight.
Horrible.
Yeah,
Wow.
probably.
Nice. So you,
Uh,
you must be exhausted right
No,
now.
that's okay.
No.
Okay.
We
Ah, yeah,
will
always have
come
fun
back
saying-
again.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you should. Definitely. Maybe tomorrow. So, in any case, thank you so much for being here. These have been Giacomo and Davide and, of course, Michael. And I've been Birkin.
Jose.
Jose, whichever you prefer. So, this was Libertarian Radio Montelibero. Thank you, and I hope to hear you again soon.
Yeah, with pleasure. Thank you for the hospitality, of course.
Yes.
See you tomorrow on the shooting range.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Oh, I'm so exhausted. It's been a long day, and